How's it going? We are continuing a series where we're taking a look at different opportunities available out there. I don't know if other countries are taking notice of what's happening in the world, but necessarily they might be busy with managing their own issues, internal issues, right? Or if anything, that could be a way of myself attracting more attention to in different countries, if anything, and how those countries might be able to manage some of those issues. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at a different country, that would be Lithuania, and how Lithuania is looking to attract different investments, right? I don't think yet the Lithuania have hosted 200 CEOs event. I don't think they have hosted yet. I know that they have strong leadership when it comes to perhaps some of the top administration staff of Lithuania, where they have previously spent decades working for investment banking institutions. So perhaps they do have know-how. Perhaps there's not enough political support when it comes to actually doing it. So there might be different issues there. Or perhaps they should start slowly and progress from there. That's another way to look at it. Within the city, I'm going to be taking a look at perhaps one of the events, and yeah, I'm going to be taking a look at why would anyone be interested of attracting new opportunities out there where perhaps labor force on the blue markets where no one's doing anything, right? There's some risk involved with everything, right? But let's take a look at Lithuania. Social Enterprise Summit. Lithuania has the potential to become one of the EU's most favorable ecosystems, right? So where everyone's fighting somewhere in France, right? Well, market size is way bigger. I don't know. It's close to the 100 million, right? As well as the UK market size is what is it, 68 or so, 72 million, and Germany, right, is a large market, right? So there's a for a reason. There's a lot of companies there. Where we're taking a look at other places like Lithuania, there perhaps there isn't that much of a competition. So I don't know. There might be some opportunities there when it comes to perhaps working out or ironing out some of those details. If anything, let's take a look at operations and management of the government if they have know-how when it comes to perhaps attracting those businesses and supporting those businesses. And from there, we can progress into tackling other issues like market sizes. The 2 day Social Enterprise Summit took place in Lithuania from March 28 to 29 on the Monday. The International Forum developed social business towards a sustainable and inclusive economy, held that same as leaders of social business ecosystem and politicals discussed the prospects for developing this sector and its importance for Lithuania's economy and for solving the challenges faced by society. Okay, so at least they acknowledge that. So that's a good start. Now, what I'm trying to find out, right? So who myself? Okay, I'm interested, right? I'm interested, and oh, they holding these kind of summits and they're discussing a lot of things, how they would like to operate and manage a lot of things, which is kind of great, right? Okay, good. So now I'm interested. I'm a business leader, owner, or CEO, right? So how can I reach out and who I can reach out to actually operate and start, and how we can establish those partnerships, right? So since I already know there's gonna be a lot of publicity, but not necessarily actually how and the business leader can take action based on okay, so we start a discussion, right? Who they are discussing with between one another. What is discussing with, right? And so again, so I need a person who I can reach out to and establish some of those partnerships and potentially build something interesting. So how myself or anybody who are interested can start with that. But it's not necessarily limited just to Lithuania. If they're doing or making that publicity that they're doing something, they're making a lot of noise that they would like to do. Okay, how we actually can do it. So how we can do it, right? So it's something that we need to acknowledge, right? How we can do it. Why myself I would be looking to or considering some of those options, right? So perhaps then establishing or working with some of those governments. Recently, some of those governments made the large investments, right? So I'm taking a look at some of those articles that was published on Friday, June 23rd. and I'm taking a look at 110 million investment into tech campus that will probably build in Lithuania. So once they build it, so so this is the plans that they have of building something like that, right? So once they're gonna start building it, perhaps that would be a lot of opportunities, and we're taking a look at some of the technologies and when can be better opportunities in establishing those partnerships than now, right? So perhaps they should attract more businesses. And I don't mind being first in some of those situations. It's just that I don't know how easy it would be to do business, right? So I know that France, to say the least, has that infrastructure when it comes to reaching out to them. I don't need to explain for 5 hours what I want to do. I want to do business. I want to be nice and smooth, so there would be any issues there. So it's something that myself I'll be really looking to establishing and working together. I don't know if they haven't done anything like that before. So even that 200 CEO summit, it's not necessarily limited to places like Lithuania, but if they haven't done it, do people understand how to do it, or how or what would be required of administration people within the country of how to attract those businesses, right? So if I were to reach out to some of those organizations, in particular, if they're looking to build that, right? So perhaps there not necessarily would be too much of competition. So it would be great. Starting slow and progressing from there. So I don't know. There's some opportunities there. Lithuania is building huge tech campus, Europe's largest in the capital of Vilnius, and it looks to become a new tech capital of Baltics. Built by, okay, let's skip that. Infrastructure project in Lithuania. The campus is 100 million euros, or just over 100 million of dollars. Developed that will span 55 square meters and house 5,000 digital workers, the firm said on Friday. So there potentially there's up to right 5,000 people that can be hosted there. So perhaps having office in that and operating or matching with all the labor costs. So I see a lot of benefits there, or perhaps it's not something. Have reached out to a number of organizations within Lithuania already. It seems pricey, although it would be a lot cheaper if we're talking about doing some of those tech projects or building something interesting, right? It's kind of pricey, so perhaps it would be a lot cheaper if we talk about 5,000 of them. But feel free to do your own research when it comes to doing business, right? Just to give more balanced opinion. So I don't know if I did that already, but some of those countries there has a long way to go. Hopefully not. With right people in right places, they can reduce that time frame. But I think it's still a long time way to go when it comes to building up all that infrastructure. Right. Despite the recent success, Lithuania is far from becoming a major tech hub that rivals others like UK, France, or Germany. So they're still challenging just of the sizes of the people. So we're talking about almost 100 million people compared to some of those nations where that having a market size of close to 3 million. What we're comparing 26 times or so, what we're comparing larger markets, right? Either way. So if we're comparing those, perhaps if you can build any interesting projects within those countries, for example, in Estonia, some of those projects that tech projects or companies was launched that was sold to other top performing US companies, right? Well, so there's potential there as well as when it comes to managing or making decisions. If anything, myself, I'm interested in government and what if government is interested in doing business with other businesses outside Lithuania in this particular case. The country attracted 222 million euros of venture capital funding in 2022, paling in comparison to its Western European peers by contracts. UK tech startups raised 30 billion. again. So, if anything, yeah. So the UK is raising that how much capital, right? So, and it can be I don't know. Then we're looking at software solutions, right? Perhaps they have infrastructure, yeah, here within UK, but not necessarily there's new opportunities there, right? Without closing themselves, and perhaps it's worth considering all of those. While the French counterparts raised 13.5 billion euros, but we'll take a look at perhaps tech projects only, right? So Perhaps, and those 30 billion came perhaps partly, to say the least, to Ireland, and it came from a lot of US companies, right? So it's part of UK, but it's not really England, if that makes sense. So it was Ireland and a lot of top giants coming from perhaps US, and then raising those 30 billion within entire UK, if that makes sense. England not necessarily raised that much, from what I understand. Perhaps Ireland, when it comes to taxes and US companies, it's a top dominant power, right? Yeah, Selfie, if you're interested in learning more, I have published a course, and within this course, I'm taking a look at the different areas where I could potentially help for people when it comes to establishing very fundamentals, and or taking a look at some of those areas out of 12. That would be even a budget. If it's not something that you have done in the past, perhaps having a personal budget would be very important, and how you can structure your personal budget, and where to begin, how to start, why would that be important to have a budget. From there, perhaps setting a target, that would be other area, and how to do it if it's not something that you have done in the past. Most of those things haven't been taught in school, at least some of those schools are traditional schools. And I think it would be very beneficial if I want to take this course. You can find it, QR code in the corner, company's website below. Unless you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me if you have any. I don't know. I don't know. I thought it might be interesting to share some of those statements, right? All top venture capital firms are coming to Lithuania and talking with startups, angel investors, and anyone else. It's Tom, CEO, co-founder of Nord Security, who said that. I don't know. I don't know. So perhaps there are some opportunities there. When it comes to perhaps how well government might be positioned when it comes to actually building infrastructure and having necessary people or launching some of those projects. Perhaps there are some opportunities there. I don't know. I thought it might be worth covering and taking a look at how to raise capital for administration staff of governments. So it's something myself I'm interested in, how those governments are doing to, or what they are doing to attract more businesses. And if anything, I'll try to reach out, see if there's any opportunities there, right? When it comes to establishing and working with some of those partners, usually there's very hard to do. Some of those things are very hard to do, just because would be compared to places like France, where it would be a lot easier things to do, right? So perhaps that's my personal feedback. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.